This is going to be an odd video. I don't talk much about what it's like to be a YouTube blacksmith or having been on TV a few times, but there are definitely things that change when you get a bit of notoriety. I'd like to discuss one of the things that I have a more difficult time with. As you come more and more into the public eye, the odd thing is that you have to retreat from the social aspects of the world. More accurately, you have to interact with it behind glass. If you have followed me for any amount of time and are aware of the 9/11 video, I think the count now stands at a little over 400 death threats, either emailed or telephoned in. Most of these are most likely trolls, but it only takes one lunatic with a gun to ruin your day. Crazy is out there, and man, does it love notable people. The other side of the violence is the compassion. I cannot begin to tell you how many people have reached out to me to thank me for the work that I've done in blacksmithing because it helped them through tough times, gave them focus, and gave them a little bit of pride in themselves. However, it's the same issue with the violent ones. Which of these heartfelt stories are coming from a good person, or is it somebody that's out to boil a rabbit out of jealousy? Trust me, the crazies are out there, and I've had to deal with a few of them. The real issue is I'm a people person. I have endured some tough things. When I hear other people hurting, it resonates in my chest. I feel it because I once felt that kind of hurt. As a decent person, my instinct is to reach out, share my own experience, and to engage. Unfortunately, that is a recipe for disaster, so I have to keep things at an arm's length. It genuinely hurts me not to be able to safely reach out and be a good friend to these folks I have never met for the simple issue that they could be nuts. I tell you all this because I recently received a package and a phone call from someone hurting, and they thanked me for my work and the things that it had inspired them to do. Along with a few finely forged gifts, there was a long letter detailing her trials and tribulations. She is in a truly rough spot, physically and emotionally. Now, I have to stay behind my walls. It's the price of what I do. I despise the fact that I have to be so seemingly indifferent, but it's the nature of the work. However, for this one moment, I'd like to hang a sign on those walls. For most of you, I hope you do not understand what I am speaking of next. I don't know you, though I've most likely been in your home and on the screen many times. There's a good chance that you and I have spent hours together, but I don't know your name or anything about you. But if you shine to my mannerisms and feel some camaraderie, there's a good chance that you have taken a few hits, like me. For those of the artist persuasion, the greatest cruelty that we know is that our madness drives our creativity. It's quite a wicked thing that we suffer for drawing breath, much less than having something happen to us. And of course, due to our life and our own shortcomings, something always does happen. Then our madness becomes compounded with trauma, layer upon layer of hurt, anxiety, anger, remorse, and ultimately, hopelessness. Oddly, we are so familiar with these weights that we carry, we manage to hide them all until we simply go under and disappear. Suddenly everybody is surprised and they're saying things like, "Oh, they seem so normal," or "They were such a happy person." I assure you, we are not normal, we are not happy, we are simply good at hiding our crazy because people don't like to see it. For the most part, people either pity you or dismiss you. Both of these make us very angry, and it feeds an unhealthy loop of wanting to reach out and then being furious that someone assumes they know what it's like. We want someone to understand what we are going through, but not just anyone. We want somebody who already knows. The problem is, we don't know who the hell that is. We don't even know what somebody would look like that went through it. We spend our entire life looking for our people, not knowing who in the hell they are. So we usually end up in a group of other broken and discarded people, all desperately trying to be individuals in a group. And then that's when the crazy really happens, because you've got emotionally charged, creative people that make a lot up in their mind, and they're now feeding off the trauma and the creativity of those around them. Throw in a few folks that turn to chemical relief, and you basically get the art department in college. The most creative of us usually don't make it. We tend to be addicts because we are desperately trying to escape the rocks gnashing in our brains every single second of the day. It's an unending crescendo that quite literally drives us mad. We are willing to trade anything, even our lives, just to be quiet. Whether it's alcohol, drugs, or a bullet, it is all in service of shutting out the screaming in our skulls. Now, I'm going to point out that I am carefully choosing my words. I don't want to inject too many specifics of my experience. They are my pains and my pains alone. However, I need you to know that I understand. There's a good chance I've sampled every brain issue you've ever had and tried every solution that the seedier side of life could ever offer. And yes, I've failed in most ways a person can. For me, though, my anchor has been blacksmithing. If it hadn't been an obscure craft, I wouldn't have taken to it. For all my particular self-loathing, blacksmithing made me important. It made me, dare I say, special. It was one subject that I could be an expert in. People respected what I had to say about it. It wasn't because I was overly educated. It was because they had never heard anything about it before. It's very easy to be first in the race when you're the only one running. But around this blacksmithing, I built my fortress. It was a craft. It was methodical, paced, and structured. In the storm of all my mental instabilities, it was a rock that I could plant my feet on. It wasn't an ever-changing personal relationship, a minute-to-minute chemical-induced mood, or an ongoing anxiety. It was a linear pursuit. Learn, practice, perfect, and continue. It was an ever-expanding universe of things I could conquer, and there was always the next challenge. It gave me a simple quiet. Now, I enjoy being the center of attention. It's why I started my YouTube channel. Sorry, I did not do it for the greater good of man. I did it to try and help save myself. Ironically, in trying to safeguard my own shreds of sanity, others have managed to float along on my life preserver. These are the people that I get letters from. We have all capsized in the rough ocean, all struggling for air in life. Somehow, a few of us found this piece of driftwood called blacksmithing, and it has saved more than a few from an untimely demise. I can't speak with all of you or get to connect to the pains and traumas of your life. By our natures, we will always be afloat on rough seas. But I want all of you to know that despite these things, I am glad that you are clinging to this dead wood with me. I may never see your face or know your name, but I know you are there. All of you. In conclusion, if you don't understand anything about what I've been talking about, be glad for it. It means that you do not carry the scars. If you have been shifting uncomfortably in your seat while I've been reading this, I am truly sorry for your pains. I believe that I understand them. I don't have a solution for you, but I honestly hope that the work that I've done may have soothed a nerve or two for the moment. Our madness is our curse and our greatest glory, and we will endure it until we can't. If you are one of my people, you've flung many a bottle into the ocean with a desperate message inside. I want you to know that those bottles get somewhere. I cannot be honest with you and tell you it's going to get better. I cannot tell you that rescue is coming. The only thing that I can tell you is that a life-saving boat can be carved out of driftwood. I am desperately sorry for the scars that we bear. I mourn the pain that my own madness and angst has caused others. It seems that I came into this world with every negative emotion tied at my neck. I did not have hope, so I went out into the forge and made some, and so can you. At the end of the day, I cannot tell you how much I appreciate all of you having walked this particular path with me. I don't know you, never seen you, though you know me. But I'll leave it at this. No matter what seas you find yourself on tonight, hold fast. There are brighter skies around the corner, and I hope you get the chance to see them. You guys take care.